Yo, today we're going to be driving for dollars. I'm going to give you a step-by-step tutorial on how to make $10, $15, $20,000 as a side hustle. Let's go. So what we do is we wholesale houses. And what wholesaling houses essentially is us looking for a good deal, because you have flippers, guys who flip properties, you have landlords. They always need supply. No matter what interest rates do, no matter the economy, they will always need supply. So meaning that they always need supply, right? What we want to do is we want to supply those people, all right? Without us, they don't get no deals and they can't eat, and they want to eat, right? So just to give you an example, let's say if a house is worth $100,000. We find out that we can get that property for $40,000. We call up cash buyer A. Let's say cash buyer A and say, hey, we got this property under contract at 123 Main Street, and we want to sell it to you for $50,000. Cash buyer A says, hey, yeah, I'm actually interested. Let me walk the property. And he walks the property. We will then assign him the contract. And so once we assign him the contract, we take it to the attorney or a title company, depending on your state. And on closing day, what will happen is we will, after they do the title search and everything on closing day, he will wire in $50,000. The seller gets their $40,000, you get their $10,000, and you get your $10,000 check for just finding a good deal. So basically, what I'm gonna be doing today is just showing you that in details and steps with this driving for dollars of how we do that, right? Because we're gonna need leads. We don't need people who want to sell, we need people who need to sell, okay? Because there's something going on. As far as the type of properties we're looking for, right? We looking for ugly houses, beat up houses, houses tore up from the floor up, houses where the mailbox is full, houses that are boarded up, just houses that are, ran down. So that's what we're looking for, and that's, how we make money, by signing those houses up under contract and then reassign that contract to someone else, a cash buyer essentially, who's looking to flip that property or holds it as a rental property. So if you notice, the first thing I did was hit that arrow in the right-hand corner, right? And I am approaching this property to my left. I see that there are abandoned cars and everything else in front of the house. House is not well kept. House definitely has some issues going on. So what I want to do is I am going to click on this. It tells me who owns this, right? So for me being in the real estate market so long, I actually know this guy who owns it. So therefore, I know he's not selling. I know him personally, but I'm gonna keep it rolling, and that's what we look for, right? And the DealMachine app told me everything I needed to know. All right, so there's a dumpster, so there's some activity going on in the neighborhood. What I'm doing now is just driving through the neighborhood looking for a property that can potentially fit our criteria. All right, so now the DealMachine app is now following me where I'm going, right? So I see that this one right here. So I'm gonna click to see who owns this property. It's to my left. It's the absentee owner. So what I want to do is I am going to look to see what information they have, right? And if you're looking, whoever owns this house since 1975, and so it's probably the original owners. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add this lead to my DealMachine, right? So I add it to my DealMachine. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip trace this lead, right? But I have the option, I can mail them. And DealMachine can pull a picture from the database and mail them, or I can take a picture and I can mail them. But I want to do this live, right? Because I'm a doer. I actually do this business, right? So I'm gonna skip trace them. All right, so now it's skip trace. So I got 3 phone numbers and I can mail them. So I'm gonna try to give them a call. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go back to my DealMachine app and I'm gonna see what's the person's name. Well, let's see if we can get somebody. In the meantime, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up DealMachine so I can talk about this property.
Please leave your message for 4084.
All right, so he didn't pick up the phone, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna keep it rolling. I got that lead in my system now, so I can call him back later. But that's the ideal property that we're looking for when we drive for dollars. Somebody has this lot staked out already, so that tells me somebody probably did a survey on it. So somebody's about to do something here. So I will call up the vacant lot as well to see who owns that. But I'm gonna just ride through the neighborhood. There go a house I can add to my system, right? I can add that to my system. And I'm riding through the neighborhood. All right, so look, this particular property, old windows, it has a window unit, the roof needs to be done, and there's a lot going on in the neighborhood, right? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna pull over to the side because there's a car coming. I'm gonna open up my DealMachine app, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna press this little arrow. The arrow's gonna put me exactly where I'm at right now. And apparently it looks like I'm here. So if you're looking at my screen right now, what I'm gonna do is, they own that house since 1977. So I'm gonna add this lead, right? And it even tells me it's a senior owner, right? It's a senior owner, so that's a good thing, right? So because they might be wanting to downsize, they might be done with the city, they might be wanting to move out, right? So what I'm gonna do on this one, right? I'm gonna start the mail on this one. It's a little early in the morning and people are not picking up the phones yet, so I'm not gonna call them. But I'm gonna just hit that mail piece right there, or start mail, or skip trace. I can get that number right from here. So yeah, that's how we would do that. And we just logged in. We got 2 good leads, right, by using the DealMachine app. So what I'm doing now, cruising the neighborhood. The app I'm using today is called DealMachine. What DealMachine allows me to do is drive for dollars and makes it so much easier. I once had to do this with pen and paper, literally. This is back in 2011, and it took me 8 months to get a deal. If I had this app, I could probably close a deal a lot faster than I did when I got started. But thanks to this app, I can now get things automated, get mailings, get follow-ups, get the information all right there on the app. All you have to do is go to durudriving.com. The link is on the screen. The link will also be in the description. Click on that, get a 7-day free trial, and get $15 in free credits. What that means is you could get either 35 postcards or 150 skip traces. What are you waiting for? Download the link today. All right, so here's another house, right? I'm gonna add to my DealMachine, right? I wanna add this because it's an ugly house. I'm gonna hit my arrow to get exactly where I'm at. It is an ugly house, and I could tell it needs work. So, we could tell it needs work. This is actually owner occupied. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just take it here. I'm gonna hit add lead, senior owner. And again, sometimes seniors want to downsize, sometimes they want to get rid of it, so we know there's something going on, but what we're trying to do, we're looking for people who have problems, who have headaches, right? So if they can't maintain the house, right, we want to see if we can come in and solve the problems. If they have something going on, if they're trying to get closer to relatives, whereas relatives can look at them, we want to see what we can do on our end. So, and I can start mail, skip trace, so now that's added to my DealMachine, right? So I'm good to go. That's basically the driving for dollars aspect of it, right? So let's say if the number we dialed, they would have picked up, I would have made a deal for that house, right? So let's say I could have got that property for $120,000, which would be a good deal in here. The house fixed up probably worth for about $280 to $290. What would happen? I would get the house under contract for $120,000. I'll shoot it out for a cash buyer for about $140, right? And the cash buyer might have to put $60, $70 and sell it for $280. So that's basically what we would do. Lock it up under contract, and then we would assign that contract to a cash buyer, and we will make the difference. So the difference in that case, if we get it for 120 and sell it for 140, the difference is $20,000 that we just made from driving for dollars. But that's how you use the app. Make sure you go to durudriving.com, download the app. All right, guys. Now make sure you click on the next video and learn more about wholesaling. I'm Nasser, aka the real estate guru. I'm not a guru, I'm a doer, because I actually do this business. Peace.